Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Hog Talk podcast, presented to you by Vision Exteriors. Tonight's show, we're going to break down Texas Tech game, talk some Michigan football, and then at 6:30, Zachary Hall from Arkansas Weather Network will be joining us to talk some Hogs and to talk about the new weather app that drops tomorrow. So really looking forward to him coming on. Adam, big game. It's one of them I think overlooked. I think we overlooked it from our Sunday show to today because when we were looking at this pre-show, we were like, okay, this is going to be a battle. This is going to be a war. Looking at the stats, two familiar names, JT Toppin and Christian Anderson, who both had 20 and 22 in last year's win over Arkansas. So very well contested game that is really going to the bigs are going to have to come to play on Saturday.
Yeah, and this is something, I mean, we talked about it before the Duke game, and they're going to have to rotate the bigs on this. The good thing, if there is a good thing, if you do end up sending JT Toppin to the line, he's a 49% free throw shooter this season. But you never know. It could be one of those games that he just comes up there, stands at the line, knocks him down. We've seen it before. So this is one that it's one of the most evenly matched games that I think I've seen in quite a long time. Just when you look at the overall team statistics, even with Toppin and Anderson leading the way, I mean, they still got two more guys, both averaging 12 points. So I think you've got to attempt to take one of those four out of the mix.
Yeah. Well, when you look at Donovan Atwell, Christian Anderson, I mean, even Lawan Watts, I mean, those two right there, Christian Anderson and Donovan Atwell, are shooting 43% from the three-point line. So, I mean, this could be a very high-scoring game. And then on top of that, when you have JT Toppin, I mean, 11, might as well just say 21 and 12 points. And then you're talking about blocks and steals. I mean, averaging over a block and a steal a game on the defensive side. So to me, looking at this team, you're talking about being tested. I think this is going to really test Arkansas on both sides of the floor, offensive and defensively. I think this is going to be where, Brazil's going to have a breakout game. Put Pringle in there. Hopefully, with how things go and depending on the refs, they don't get Pringle in foul trouble or they let him play defense on Toppin. So, that was a thing. Toppin really gave Arkansas fits. And then at the end, you had those clutch threes at the end. But for the most part of the game, Toppin, and I'm surprised he's not in the league. I mean, I'm really surprised he came back because he just looked like a polished NBA player last season. And for him to come back, I mean, carrying where he left off, I mean, it's crazy just to see how well this team's doing 7-2 on the year, just like Arkansas.
Yeah, him coming back, I think surprised some, but at the same time, like we've talked about before, the landscape of NIL, if you're not guaranteed to be a lottery pick, there's no point in a lot of people's opinions of attempting to go to the NBA draft unless that's just your ultimate, like I just want to get out of college, work my way up, whatever. But yeah, I mean, the money's to be made, especially at Texas Tech. We've seen what NIL they're throwing around. If I remember correctly, at the end of last season, I mean, there were talks of his NIL deal being between $2 to $4 million to come back to Texas Tech, which is crazy. But at the same time, when you're going to go make substantially less, or you're comfortable for another year making $2 to $4 million in college, up your draft stock, which if he stays on track this season, he will be doing or whatever, and then try to slide your way into that lottery. Which one of the mock drafts that I read this morning from Bleacher Report, I think had him around 20th. So he's still in that realm of being right outside the lottery. So we'll see how it goes. But this weekend this is a game I don't think you can let Christian Anderson or any of those others you mentioned get hot from the 3-point line.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is, you just talk about the youth of this team, Malik and Darius. this is going to be, I think that's for next segment. We got, so we look at the Doppler radar right now. This is where I think a game where it's going to be very beneficial that DJ Wagner, he comes in and talking about a game he played in last year, Brazil as well. If things get rough or if Texas Tech starts a run, it's really important. And Coach Neighbors, when he was at Arkansas, he said that he really liked having a team where your point guard can control the flow of the game and you don't have to waste a timeout to calm the team down. So just because you give up a couple of baskets, I think Cal has his point guard in DJ Wagner where he can be like, settle down. And that's why I made a big point about when Brazil passed up on that open three and ran his offense. Because in games like this, moments like that are going to count. When you think you're on a heater and you just start chucking up shots, that's where runs happen. So you put the ball in DJ's hand, you let Malik and you let Darius Acuff do their thing. Brazil, it's Knox, depending on who wants to step up. And I think that's where Arkansas has the advantage from last year's. They have a lot more depth this year that they can rely on. If this one person's not popping, you got another person that can come get you double digits. And I think that's what was missing. I think that's the biggest key to this Razorback team is if one guy falls, you have at least somebody that's going to step up that can give you double digits. And that's big, especially when we get into conference time and postseason play.
And when we talked about it a little bit, I think it was around after the Michigan State game. We talked about it before the Duke game, talked about it with Louisville. This is nothing against Darius Acuff, no shot at him by any means, but some of these bigger games feel like that DJ Wagner needs to be able to run the offense, have the ball in his hands a little bit more, because there's times I feel like DJ Wagner defers a little bit, and I think it needs to be. And honestly, a lot of times on the court, we see Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff on the floor together a lot of the time, with Darius Acuff leading the offense. I would like to see, and I'm not saying bench Darius Acuff. That is not where I'm going with this. But I would just like to see a good stretch of minutes, 4 to 7 minutes, whatever it is, with DJ Wagner and Malik Thomas running the offense. And maybe to do that, you put Darius Acuff on the bench temporarily. I just think it's something with this rotation. I would kind of like to see almost like a 1 and 2 rotational offense, defense, whatever, lineups. Hey, this lineup comes out, this lineup goes in, but you've still got scorers on each one of them.
Yeah. And that's where, I talk about DJ, but you can't be too timid. There's going to be times we're going to need him. Coach Watson from Ozark, Florida fan, he says Arkansas's got a whooping coming to 28. So chiming in.
As long as Boogie Flan gets the ball at the end of the game, I think we'll be okay.
Presented by Bet Online. Yes. Yeah. Depending on the odds, when he has the ball in his hands late in the game. But when it comes to DJ, yes, because that could be a thing where especially if you're timid and you're questioning your scoring and questioning your shooting, there's going to be a time where we're going to need him to be that double-digit scorer. And if he can come through and miss shots, that could affect when you're talking about your rotation. You're going to have everybody on their A game. So big game. Again, this is going to be a big test, and I can't believe we're almost to conference season already. I mean, this year's flown by. This non-con schedule has flown by, but I want to see how this team reacts in February, March, because when Musselman was here, we were like, all right, when's this team going to click? All right. When is this team ever going to get it together? And I think Cal's built a culture. If you're going to play here, you better be ready now. It's not going to be no cupcake through the non-con and then 5, 6, 7 weeks into the conference season, you're trying to click. And I know they started 0-5 last year in conference season, but I really have a different feeling about the Razorbacks this year. And, we know that big game coming up on January 31st. Really looking forward to that. But after that, you got tournament season.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to see where these two guys, when you're talking about Acuff, Malik Thomas, how much do they grow throughout the year? Because you always hear, well, they're not freshmen anymore. They're pretty much sophomores. So on Saturday, you big test. And I think for DJ and Brazil, what JT Toppin and Christian Anderson did last year, and you want to avenge that loss. And you want to prove that this team's clicking at the right time and carry you into conference play.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the rest of the top 25 matchups this weekend just to see if anything stands out. Let me see here. You've got number 23 Nebraska playing number 13 Illinois. You've got number 1 Arizona playing number 12 Alabama and number 25 UCLA playing number 8 Gonzaga. So you got some good games with early insight to see where some of these teams are at before everybody enters conference play.
Yeah. And then, of course, Joe Lunardi's already putting out his bracketology. Way too early bracketology. I think even now he's got Arkansas as a 5 seed. I mean, I guess you can't technically say it was a 5 seed, but they are the next 4 out of the bunch. He does top 4, so we can call it a 5 seed. So a lot of people are starting to believe in the Razorbacks, and we know how things go, and you can't get your hopes up too much because you don't want to rank them too high because then they end up playing like they shouldn't be ranked. So
I like being in that 8 to 10 range. Just play with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Go in there thinking that they've overlooked you in a sense or whatever. And, a lot of times going in with that underdog mentality goes a long way.
Yeah.
And then when you reach the Sweet 16, I feel like it's no longer, hey, we're not the underdog anymore, where it was more of an even playing field.
Yeah, and that comment right here, any team with big game will be a tough out for the Razorbacks. Absolutely. I mean, that's how it always is. That's the MO for the Arkansas for the past 6 years. But I think as long as Pringle can learn how to play defense and not get into foul trouble, there's a huge chance. Michigan State, absolutely. Duke game, I'll say all day long the refs screwed them on that. I mean, they just wasn't able to let them get in a rhythm, foul trouble, and still almost won the game. You let Boozer just go down there and do what he wanted, throw his elbow out, his arm out, hit him in the face, and then do a step back jump shot. I mean, of course he's going to score 34 points. I have a lot of promise for this team. They've just shown the attributes of having a team play. I know you have 2 phenoms in Acuff and Malik Thomas, but it seems like they are putting together a well-oiled machine. And if they get to where everything's clicking, they're going to be the one that's going to be the tough out.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we talked last year, like, oh, this is the first glimpse to see, what Coach Calipari is going to bring in talent-wise. It's only going to get better. And sure enough, like bringing in kids from high school from these different IMGs and overtime elites and these different academies. I mean, he's getting these kids that are borderline already NBA ready. It's just fine tuning those little things. I would just like to see before we get to conference play, Carter Knox to find his place. Obviously at any point in the season, it'll be an asset, but getting it done earlier rather than later, I think would help go a long way, especially because he is still showing up late on a lot of these NBA mock drafts. But the big question on a lot of him is his growth and still needing to continue to grow. So I think that definitely before you get to SEC season, when you're playing Michigan State, Texas Tech, Houston, you're playing these teams, like this is the opportune time for you in front of these NBA scouts to show what you've got. And it's one of those that if you disappear like he has, those are the things that they're going to remember until tournament time.
Yeah. He's almost going down the same path as Thero. There was times where he was the hero and, come up big clutch and then he would go away. And then into the season, how that, and then look at him with the Lakers now. He's starting to find his rhythm with the Lakers and get into the rotation. And he's very good defender. And yeah, that's who he reminds me of. And now, I mean, at 8.4 points, you have Billy Richmond at 8.3 points, DJ Wagner 8.4. So, they're going to have to match, the physicality, and they're going to have to match them in scoring. So when you look at A-Cups at 17, Malik Thomas at 16, Trevor Brazil's at 12, you're either going to have to play out of your minds offensively, or you're going to have to really slow them down, because offensively, they got more scores than you do. So how are they going to adjust to that? We know Coach Cal, he'll have them ready on Saturday, but I think this is going to be a very good game come Saturday.
Definitely. And, don't look ahead. You've still got Queens immediately after, which, okay, I get. And then you've got Houston, number 7 Houston currently, James Madison, and then January 3rd, all eyes on the SEC season starting.
Yeah. Moving on to football, man. I don't even know where to start with I'll tell you what, that whole Michigan thing. Did you hear the fact that it was actually a DoorDasher that caught?
So I saw a post today about DoorDash. I don't know everything. I haven't read all the reports or the posts or whatever, so I've just caught glimpses. I've seen, he was fired. I've seen little posts here and there, something about whatever involving a female or whatever. I've heard of a DoorDash driver. I've seen comparisons to him and Bobby Petrino and other coaches.
Pass on the torch.
And it's just one of those, you can put 2 and 2 together, but I'm going to have to, because a buddy of mine in our group text today was just kind of like, or they're not really rumors because they're more reports, but it was kind of, bullet points of it. And I'm just like, good Lord. But I think the timing is what's crazy, just because Lane signing you're going to Ole Miss. And then now there's the talk of Kalen DeBoer potentially. Is he going to go to Michigan? Then if that happens, you open up Alabama. And like we've been saying, Lane's road eventually leads to Tuscaloosa. So can we all see that, him flipping more or less out of nowhere? And then I just wonder, is Bama going to help pay that buyout?
I don't know. I don't think there's any chance, but I just love getting underneath the skin. LSU, the media and the fans, and like I said last week, the gas bags are just, they're trying to act tough. They're trying to act like they're not worried, but it's in the back of their mind. I mean, they're going at Tulane people. Like, I mean, it's the fact that watching the ramp up to them knowing that Lane was coming, getting Lane, and then this happening, it's easy to throw fuel on the fire. It's easy to throw those memes out and those tweets out about Kalen going to the big house, and then Lane's going to follow. I absolutely love it, because, for as big as a program that LSU is, the way they're talking about this is like they've never been there before. They're so excited to get Lane, and they think Lane's never going to cheat on them. And they think Lane's never going to leave them. He's on his 3rd marriage. He's going to get it right this time. It is hilarious to see them just squirm. And I love playing a part in it, because, what the deal is, you're setting yourself up. LSU media fans, you're setting yourself up. LSU better win the national championship next year. They better. Because that's what you're setting it up for. You're setting it up for Lane coming in with this big bag, get all the players. They better win the national championship next year, because that's what you're setting your expectations up. LSU already had the expectations of, if you don't win a national championship in 4 years, you're out. So with Lane coming in and all these gas bags talking all this stuff and making it seem like LSU is the top program in college football now, I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see this thing fall, and they better not lose a game. That's my expectation. They have to go undefeated, as much shit they're talking.
It's going to be a whirlwind between now and, next August, essentially. There's going to be a lot that happens between now and January, just with the landscape of football. And then, in January, we'll have the vote on everything that we know that will come to pass on getting to put logos on the college uniforms. And with what Utah has done, and then now with this vote pending, it's one of those that we've all said that, amateurism is dead and college sports as we know it is done. This isn't your grandparents' college football, college sports in general. But the logo thing, and then like we talked about almost a year ago to the day, um, with billionaires wanting ownership of or 51% stakes in some of these college football programs, it's here. We talked
Mhm.
about this a year ago, and Utah
Exactly.
is now the first one that has gotten on board. And we're in a profession. College sports are now professional sports, and it's not going to just be college football. It's going to be like the entire athletic department.
Yeah.
So, what are these billionaires going to do when, hey, we've got underperforming sports? We have sports that aren't paying the rent. Hey, you need to cut your tennis team. Hey, you need to cut your lacrosse, or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, it's already coming,
But
and that's where it's gonna come to where it's gonna be dicey watered, but it's also gonna be like, they're not gonna care because it's a business,
mhm,
and they're gonna be like, "Well, I'm sorry." But to me, if you're making that much money, if you're generating that much money, I think every university should put a clause in, you keep all the sports.
oh yeah, I can
But
see.
because you're not going, this is the thing, they're not stupid. All these billionaires are not stupid. It's like you're investing. You think about Netflix in the day when they sent you the CD in the mail, and now look where it's at. College football and college athletics, especially in the South, has been huge. I mean, outside of NFL, college football is the biggest thing in the South. I mean, I guess you want to throw NASCAR. NASCAR is declining. I don't know if it's still up there or not, but then they know what they're doing. And if they invest in this thing and you're bringing money, I think they should protect the other programs because you
Mhm,
have enough money to do that. And then if you protect them, you keep them where they're getting their own NIL deals. As long as you know, all right, the bottom dollar, this is how much it takes to run these programs, run it, and then they
mhm.
generate their own NIL. It's up to them to do that.
That collective bargaining agreements have to be next.
Mhm.
100%. When
They're
you
gonna
when
go
you
union. I mean, they're gonna have you're
mhm,
gonna have a union. Northwestern, I can't remember what year it was, but they
it was
tried to do this years ago,
mhm,
and it got shot down. Again, you look at how many things 5 years ago we looked at and was like, there's no way this will happen. It's happening. So, but as Arkansas fans and how we embraced Bobby Petrino coming back, how we embraced Cal coming in, and we embraced the Chicken Man, guys, we have to accept whatever comes with football because we are taking full advantage of it in the basketball team. We're taking full advantage of it in the baseball program because you're funded fully by Tyson Hunt. Now we get the football team program going with all the new hires. Which I mean, guys, we could talk about the new hires and stuff. We'll break that down more Sunday, but there's just a lot happening where I want to see what roster we have because with the transfer portal when it opens up, we could be saying, "Oh man, they're going to be great. They're going to have this." Let's see what happens with the transfer portal. There's plenty of time to talk about the hires, but honestly, I'm underwhelmed.
mhm.
They're talking about the GM's a great hire. Haven't had time to look at him yet, but other than that, I think a lot of it was we wanted to have hype, but they overpromised. I think they come in and said they were going to set the world on fire, and then you're bringing in mid-major hires that does not seem like a program that's ready to compete or have the monies to compete for a national championship.
Mhm, and that's one of the reasons I've kind of just held bit my tongue a little bit when I've been asked, like, "What do you think about these hire?" Like, I just wanna
Mhm.
see the entire coaching staff as a whole rather than going one by one. One day it's this, one day it's that. I wanna see the coaching staff. I wanna see what like you said, what roster. I wanna see when the transfer portal opens, what kind of players are they getting? Are we getting players early? Or are we getting players that are looking for a home at the end of it? It's one of the like, are we scrounging for players at the end
Yeah.
of this window? Like, what's going on here?
And I think
So
that's going to be the problem with this year. It's going to be a scrap year. I think you are going to kind of get the crumbs unless you can really get, for a fact that you can get 20 million. And I guarantee you, too, this is going to really call the bluff of do they really have the funds to compete with the SEC and a national championship? because with the money now and knowing how other teams have turned their programs around in year 1 or year 2, if they come out with a mediocre team or they come in with these JUCO guys or these D2 guys trying to play in the SEC, I feel bad for Silverfield because already year 1, you're like, all right, this is not going to work out because they've already overpromised what they said they were going to do. He said his coaching hires were going to blow everybody away, and he was going to have the best recruiting class ever at Arkansas. So, I mean, those are 2 bold statements. I get his delivery. I get it. I get his passion, but this is Arkansas. This is the SEC, and you have to deliver because this is 15 years of damage you're dealing with.
We'll see what happens.
So, well, we're going to take a quick 30-second break. Adam's going to hop off, and after the break, we will be joined by Zachary Hall, Arkansas Storm Tracker, now Arkansas Weather Network. Really excited to talk to him. He always loves coming on and talking about the Hogs. We've already got some weather questions for Zach. Where it's raining.
One hall with another hall.
So, yeah, we're going hall to hall. So take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be joined by Zachary Hall, talk about Razorback Sports and the new app being launched tomorrow. Catch you in 30 seconds. Looking to enhance your home's curb appeal? Look no further than Vision Exteriors. As your trusted roofing, siding, and exterior experts, we're here to transform your property. Our skilled team ensures your job is not only functional but also aesthetically pleasing. Along with roofing, we also offer window, gutter, and siding installation to boost your home's appearance with our quality options. Visit us at www.visionexteriors.com or call us at 479-397-4770. Let's make your vision a reality. And welcome back to the Hog Talk podcast. We're joined now by Zachary Hall. I don't know. Are you still Storm Tracker, man? Or do you just, is it straight Arkansas Weather Network? Or what do we call you now?
Can you hear me, Porter? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
I don't know why I can't hear you.
Let's see. Let's see if we got a malfunction on the audio. Can you hear me now?
I can't. I can see what you're saying, but I can't hear you.
Oh,
it happens,
man.
man.
But I don't know how.
I could hear you before the break, but I can't hear you now.
Hearing now. Let me come back in. See if that does anything. No. Adam, I have to jump in. Adam.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Your help. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Because I was waiting to see if y'all were good. Now I can hear you fine.
Guys. So see if we can get something going with the AirPod. Take the AirPods out and put back in the ear. Getting some questions right or some suggestions for you. Because we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there we go.
Can you hear me?
That's good. Yeah.
I don't know
Can
what
you
the
hear
deal
me?
is, man.
You're good. You're good, man. No, I was leading up. I said, I don't know what to call you now. You still the Storm Tracker, Arkansas Weather Network? What are we going by now? Let's get some technical. There we go. You back on? Can you hear me now?
I don't know what the deal is, man. I can't hear you.
Can't hear me? Okay.
All my audio stuff is up, so I'm not really sure what the deal is.
Okay.
Sorry. I know this is embarrassing, but
no, you're all right. This is how it goes. But I'll just do it on the fly. Just bear with us as we take a brief silence for a second.
You want me to leave and come back?
Yeah, see if that works. See what that does. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Adam had some work stuff to do, and we'll bring Zachary back on here in a second. But for those who don't know, Zachary Hall has transitioned over to the Arkansas Weather Network, and they have an app coming out tomorrow on the 13th. It's one of the coolest things for local. I know he turned into a one-man show trying to cover weather all over Arkansas, and him and James Bryant teamed up to come up with an app and full weather coverage 24/7. So I really am looking forward to talking with him. And let's see, yeah, I can hear you now.
I don't know what the deal was. I'm really sorry, man.
Oh, you're good. So you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can see what you're saying. I just couldn't hear you.
All right. Welcome back to the Hog Talk Pod. No, just kidding.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's what happened, man. This is live shows, man. I'm sure how many times it happened to you during live storm coverage and stuff. So.
Camera shuts off, audio shuts off, radar goes down. It never fails.
I got to give it to Hartman. He was trying to give you some tips and tricks during the time. But anyways, what I was getting at is how to introduce you. You still Storm Tracker, man. Arkansas Weather Network, man. What do we call you now?
Nothing's changed, man. A lot of people still. There's people who don't follow me, but they know who I am. That still think I storm chase, and I haven't storm chased in 2 years. But my branding is Zachary Hall, Arkansas Storm Tracker. I'll always be known as the Storm Tracker. But I mean, me and James, we own the Arkansas Weather Network, and we're weather forecasters. We cover the weather live, so you can just call me Zach. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really care. So
well, we appreciate you coming back on. We'll talk about some Hogs first. Really, every time you come on, we give a little shout out to the Razorbacks and your thoughts on really the season. I know you could see with your tweets and as the season was going on, the frustration, many Razorback fans, but just talk about, Petrino coming in and your thoughts of what you expected of him and now what we're moving into this transition with Silverfield.
Well, sometimes I need to learn to keep my mouth shut on Twitter because I run my mouth a little bit too much and people get on to me. But, I was excited to see Bobby come back. I grew up, Bobby, the only Razorback success that I know of was Bobby. When I was in high school, we were on our run. So I thought that was just normal. I didn't realize that we were traditionally not that great when it came to football. I know that Houston Nutt had some time, but I was really young for that. So I was excited to see Bobby come back and, see how the offense performed, see if the defense would change any, and it really didn't. I mean, we stayed in most games. You can't take that away from Bobby. We had some success but more of the same, losing a lot of close games, and I was really disappointed with how the season finished. It was time for a change. I know that some people wanted Bobby to stay, but I'm sorry. Just for me personally, my opinion, it was time for a change. And when they hired Ryan Silverfield, once again, probably running my mouth a little bit too much, was not happy. I thought that was a settle hire. I thought that was a last ditch effort hire. But I will say that since he has been hired, I've liked his energy. He's said all the right things except for maybe that recruiting class line. I feel like he maybe spoke a little soon on that. But yeah, I like his energy. I think he means well. I think he's going to give it his all, which is, I guess, all we could really ask for. I haven't just been blown away by the staff hires. I like the GM guy that they brought in. I think that's a good one. But really, in all reality, none of this matters if we don't get the right players. So
that's true.
I mean, I've heard what Hunter had to say about the money and how we have the financial backing, but the time, proof's going to be in the pudding this portal season whenever it's times to go get some men to play in the SEC, because these other schools like Ole Miss, LSU, especially Georgia, they're going to get their dudes. Can we go get ours? And until I see that happen, I'm just not going to get excited, man.
Well, dude, you're having teams like Utah step into the mix. You're having teams like Michigan State, and look, what budget is or what year or decade does he think he's in when he's saying a significant amount? Because when we hear $1 million, he's bragging about $1 million donation, and then now we're seeing Utah and Michigan State $400 and $500 million. It's one of those things that
serious football program.
You're trying to play catch up, but you're playing catch up 3 years too late. And now once you get into this, and now you're seeing everybody's at $405 million when you're trying to. It's like you're drowning and you come up for air. I've got $1 million. Oh, I need 400. and now you're trying to swim for all that money. It's ridiculous where it's at, but it's where it's at, and you have to embrace it or you're going to get left behind.
Texas Tech is like the ultimate example in recent past where, we beat Texas Tech last year. Like, it seems like people forget that we were the ones beating them, and now we're 2-10 and they're playing in the college football playoff because they said, hey, this sucks. We're going to embrace this, and we're going to become a serious football program and put our money where the mouth is. Like, you have to embrace it. If you're not ready to embrace it, then you're just going to get left behind. So I guess, like I said earlier, the proof's going to be in the pudding in portal season. We'll see who we get. I'm
Yeah.
glad that Quincy announced that they're staying. I'm glad that
I think
KJ,
that's
that's
huge.
good. So that's a
You
start,
got
I
two
guess.
key parts where you could sit there and build around. But you bring up Texas Tech, it's not just the football. They invested millions of dollars in their softball program because they know they're legit. Look at their
Yep.
basketball team that we're playing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They're a top 15 squad. So they're doing it like when me and Adam were talking was there's so much money in NIL opportunities in Arkansas where you could really fund the football team, get it going, and then it just spreads like wildfire. You remember
Yeah.
21 when everything was rocking and rolling and you beat
Mm-hmm.
Texas and everything was, you thought it was just a dream that this is where everything was going. We're back to the glory days. And now look where we're at. It's very sad to see. And especially me and Adam were talking, and I have to step back and be like, man, I'm sorry. You're a Razorback fan. I'm not. How do you really feel? We have to have those kind of therapy sessions between of us on the air. And it's just because I look at it through a different lens sometimes than you or him do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I love Razorback football. I will always be a hog. And no matter how mad I get and run my mouth on Twitter when I'm
Yep.
upset and fired up, I will always be back that next weekend ready to go.
Yeah.
I just hope and pray that, man, as I told my wife tonight at dinner, we were talking about this. Literally, all he has to do, all Silverfield has to do is give us some success.
Mhm.
If he can win 7-8 games a year, like that's the norm for us. Most Razorback fans are gonna be very happy. Maybe you sneak out a 10-win season here and there. Like we just don't want to be embarrassed. Like
Yep.
we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to, we don't want to get stomped. We don't want to be the laughing stock. That's all. I don't think that's that hard.
No.
Vanderbilt is proof that you can do this.
Yep.
No excuses. The excuses are over.
Exactly. Indiana, Vandy, these
Oh yeah, I didn't think
Arizona
about Indiana.
State,
Oh my
Arizona
gosh.
State have been good since Jake Plummer. And then you come in and now last year they're in the college football playoff. There's just so much promise that now you're like, okay, this can be done in 2 years.
Yeah.
And knowing what all it takes. And I know there was a lot of people talking about Kane Archer. He's too small. He's too this. What was Diego Pavia before he went to
I
Vandy?
know.
He was the
I love
same
Kane,
thing.
man. I
And
love Kane's
it's
skill set.
crazy that they expect and they think that he's not going to be a success, and then he's going to Utah. So we'll see what all that plays out. And then you got the basketball program, what Cal's doing. I mean, I really love this team. What's your thoughts on the team?
Oh, I'm all in on basketball. That football, I love football. It's my number one. Like when the Hogs are rolling in football, I'm pretty, yeah, I'm in. But the basketball program, I love Arkansas basketball and seeing Cal what we've done this year. That Duke and the Michigan State games. This is two good losses.
Mhm.
I don't like moral victories because I feel like we use them a lot. But man, it's kind of hard to be upset with. I feel like we've got two of the best losses in the entire country.
Yeah.
I really liked what we did against Louisville. I would like to see us go to a neutral floor and get a dub. And I'm hoping
Yeah.
that Saturday we can get some revenge. We never should have lost to them last year. Nightmares about that game. I hope that we can go down there and get the win and keep rolling because I feel like we're on a good path right now. We needed that win against Louisville bad. So
Yeah, that was a good one. And I was telling Adam, I said, I think, Louisville has a big game against Kentucky. I don't think if not saying they underestimated Arkansas, but I don't think they knew exactly what they were getting themselves into coming into Bud Walton Arena, coming into an environment where someone looked at you that they wanted to beat you more than you wanted to beat them. You have that then in sports sometimes. You have the teams that, Arkansas, Missouri, you want to kill each other equally. Arkansas, Texas, you might want to beat them more than they want to beat you. And I think it was one of those moments, and they've seen it. They realized, all right, we better come to play, and it was too late for them.
yeah. I don't know. The Hogs put the foot on the throat for a while on that one. They just never really could recover. They tried to cut it close, but it just never worked. I think Brazil is going to be the key to this team. I know
Yes.
Acuff and Malik are dogs. They're going to get their shots. They're going to get they're going to get their buckets. But when Brazil's on, man, he's hard to cover.
Yeah.
So we need him to have a big game Saturday, and I hope that Carter Knox can find his rhythm too. I don't really know what the heck has been going on there, but
I think
I
it's
like
one of
Carter,
the
like
things
his
just
game.
like Bland. I think it's things you last year you were the guys, Adu, Theo, and then Knox. They really were heroes at the times, and they thought, okay, this is just on automatically. This is the thing with transfer portal that doesn't get talked about enough is last year's success doesn't turn into who you're going to be next year. And I think some of these kids are seeing it. They're used to being the guy where the ball's in their hand and they know they can knock down the shots.
Mhm.
Here comes two freshmen, Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff, and they're like, oh, wait,
Yeah.
now you're having to find your place. And I think with Cal doing this schedule the way he did, I think that's exactly what this team needed.
Yeah, I agree.
But we'll get into the weather. Look, I'm very excited. I kind of tripped on. We had commented on something, and you kind of gave me a wink, and I knew something was in motion, but I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
knowing that this happened, man. You teaming up with James, and because he had left his previous job, I'm like, man, we're going to see this more. And you just like kind of, I picked up what you were throwing down, and to see all this come
James,
together.
Yeah, when he announced that he was leaving KATV, everybody was like, "This guy's about to fall off the face of the earth," and I just had to sit back and be quiet. I'm like, "Man, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know." There's people. You were the next Ned Permy, and you're leaving us forever. I wanted to comment and be like, "Just chill. He'll be here in a couple weeks." So, yeah.
So just catch up for the ones. Because we've seen your videos, which I love, by the way, really explaining, how everything got kickstarted, but just when did it really come a reality that, okay, we're really going to do this? I'm really ready to jump from what you did last year to doing what y'all are about to do this year.
Well, for those who have no idea who I am, my name is Zachary Hall, and I'm a weather forecaster here in the state of Arkansas. I cover all 75 counties, and I've done that for a long time. I used to be a professional storm chaser. I retired in the spring of 2024 and rolled out of that and into this, just being home more with my family. So I've done that now for a while. Well, James came to me this summer when they have a meteorologist in Alabama. His name is James Spann. He's like one of the most famous meteorologists in the world. And he formed the Alabama Weather Network, hired like 12 meteorologists and made his own. It's like a news station with no sports or politics, just weather all the time.
Yeah.
And like $1 million operation, like the whole 9 yards. Well, James came to me and was like, "Man, this is not being done in Arkansas. And I don't really know if anyone's going to do it soon. We should do this." And I was like, "Okay, let me think about it. Let me pray about it." Talk to my wife. And yeah, James is the only person I think that I would do this with, simply because number one, James is one of my best friends. He's a genius with numbers, planning, logistics. I'm not. I can do social media, I can do weather, and that's like my forte. I'm comfortable with that. And then we also brought on Blaze Thomas, who graduates with his meteorology degree tomorrow. So congratulations to Blaze. He is our lead developer, does all the tech stuff that I don't even understand, coding. Thank God for Blaze Thomas. So there's three of us. Me and James are the owners, the co-owners. Blaze works for us. He does a great job. But thanks for all the kind words, man. For those who may not know what I'm talking about, the Arkansas Weather Network is basically just a digital weather platform. We're going to use all major social media platforms. So any social media that you can think of, you're going to probably be able to find us on there, especially when things are getting cranky, tornadoes and all that good stuff. We're going to do live severe weather coverage, daily content. And yeah, it's like I told my aunt and my grandma, it's a news station with no politics or sports, just weather. And it's owned by Arkansans, not some corporation thousands of miles away.
Yes.
So.
And see, it's weird. I had approached you last year. I had a similar vision of just sports, weather, and travel, everything but the news, and just, not having the time and the logistics, and to really have, what we were trying to do is just piece together things. And it was a great idea, but not a great product. And it just kind of, it lasted a month and fell through, but not realizing just how much it would go through. But I've always had that idea of everything but the news, because we know what happens news and this and that and corporate world. So when you come up with this idea, I was very excited about it, to see the vision. My son, he's a weather freak. He loves the weather. The Etna tornado got him. It scared his life, but it got him for his passion of weather. Like, he'll sit away and watch a tornado, but then he's scared for the next 3 days. He just loves the weather. So, for his first, it was 6 years old, I took him to go see Joe, and he was part of the noon newscast. He's always had that passion. So seeing people like you do this, and seeing my son look up to that. So you're talking about who you looked up to. Like, you make a difference now to my kids. So I always hold that close to my heart, because you're making a difference kids around the area, whether you know it or
Thanks,
not. And it's just really cool to see. But all right, so talk about the app. You got the app coming out tomorrow. I know it's going to be like Black Friday. People's going to be up at midnight waiting to download it. So what can we expect from the app?
We've worked on the app now for months. The software, the product that we are using is not used by any news affiliate here in Arkansas or media group at all. Um, it's called Baron. The app we have worked on for months and tried to format it to where we thought it would be very easy for people to use for, whenever if you're in Arkansas and you're wanting to figure out the weather tomorrow at 7 a.m. We have an hourly forecast that goes up to 48 hours. And we didn't really go beyond that because we felt like it starts to lose that accuracy that is so annoying with most weather apps. And we also shut it off at 7 days. And I know that some people might, well, I really want to look and see what it looks like 3 weeks from now. But man, when it comes to that stuff, and some people don't know this, but like, dude, it's hard enough to forecast the weather. I struggle forecasting the weather 24 to 36 hours in advance, let alone 10 days. We cut it off at 7 days to just give you that bare 7 day forecast. But we feel like that's the most accurate. We do some apps that people have access to, there's no human element and it's just raw computer data. And it's up to you to decide if it's legitimate or not. Well, with this one, we do have the ability to go in and edit that if we don't like the way it looks to hopefully give you the most accurate weather possible. It is not perfect, and I never have said it's going to be, but I do think that it will be really nice for people. It's built by Arkansas people. Me, James, and Blaze are all born and raised in Arkansas. We care. It's not like we're just dishing this out for people and saying, "Here you go, enjoy." So the app will have all sorts. We've got an AI affiliate on there for those of you who do like dabbling in AI when it comes to lightning prediction, tornado prediction, which I think is very cool. The app too, we have state options. A lot of stuff that I post is statewide view, from aerial view of all 75 counties. The app will have a multi-section tab where if you live in Western Arkansas and Fort Smith, you can go in and look at West Arkansas and get really location-specific forecast. Or if you live in Jonesboro, Little Rock, wherever it might be, so that, if you want to get a little bit more specific, you can. Of course, we have sponsors on there that work with us. So it's got all sorts of stuff. I could go on and on about the mobile app, but it releases on Saturday, December 13th to the public. And I am very, very excited about it. And I hope people enjoy it because we have worked so incredibly hard on it. It's got radar, of course, future radar if you want to zoom and let's see what the rain is going to do if there's rain moving in. And the last thing I do want to tell you that I love about the app, and I'll shut up, is we have the ability to send personalized alerts, geolocation alerts. And I'm sure other news weather people have this ability too. I just think it's really cool. If there's snow moving into Little Rock and it's not moving into Fayetteville, I can draw a little circle on the app for people just in Little Rock and be like, "Hey, Zachary Hall here. Snow's moving in the next couple of hours. Plan ahead." And people in Fayetteville won't get that. They won't be bombarded by unnecessary alerts. I think people will like that too. So that's the last thing I want to say.
Are y'all going to be doing like nightly weathercasts or like a normal news station? Or are y'all just going to be doing things throughout the day pretty much? Or is it going to be kind of like a newscast where you're going to do a weather forecast on the app or on your websites?
So we will do, James has done several of them. I like doing TikToks and Reels. I post those almost every morning on TikTok, and I did one on Facebook on the Arkansas Weather Network Facebook tonight. James really likes doing those daily forecast style videos that are 4 or 5 minutes for those who really want to get in depth. If the weather is active and tornadoes are coming or a winter storm is coming, yes, we will have those evening newscast style productions that goes really in depth. We'll be doing live streams for that stuff, but we're not going to bombard people with 5 shows a day, an 8 a.m., a noon, because people don't need that. Like if it's like it was today and mild and nice, people aren't going to watch, first of all, and they don't care. I would care. So our goal is to be there when you need us the most, and that's when we have big ticket weather events. But we will have daily content, multiple posts a day of what's coming, what's going on now. That way you're informed and there's no concerns of what's coming up next because we'll have you filled in. So,
well, and y'all being Razorback fans, I mean, that is really kind of, seasoned you for doing this because you don't know what the weather is going to be like. You're talking about forecasting. You're like, all right, it's going to be sunny, but yet in the afternoon it could be snowing. When I worked for DirecTV and it was, in between, you would say February, March. I think I remember when one day we had flood warning, tornado warning, blizzard warning, all in the same between Northwest Arkansas and River Valley in the same day. And so when people ask what the weather's going to be like, I was like, I don't know. Oh,
Yeah,
but no, really,
this is a great example. This week, it's mild now.
mhm.
Man, Saturday, we got a strong cold front moving through Saturday night. We could have wind chills in North Arkansas on Sunday morning near 0. So, like, I mean, it's
Crazy.
just crazy how fast we go, from hot to warm to cold to tornadoes to snow. You just never know. So,
Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on. And I know that, when you're doing those long 10-hour forecasts, I know that, it was hard at times watching you try to even take a little like a meal break. And, and then it seemed
yeah,
that one day when there was the big tornado breakout east. So I know the hard work and dedication y'all have put in, and we've been close for a while. So it's like I told you when I first found out about it, love seeing people win, love seeing people from Arkansas that
thanks.
are dedicated win. So nothing but the best. And you and James Blaze, welcome on anytime to give us some forecasts, give us some game day stuff going on. So we appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I super thankful that the state has given me a platform, given James a platform, Blaze, and the Arkansas Weather Network an opportunity to thrive. So thanks. I
Well,
appreciate
looking
that.
forward to it. Tell everybody before we hop off when you can get the app, when you can download it, and what
Mhm.
to expect.
Well, you can follow myself, Zachary Hall, on Facebook, all major social platforms, James, Bryant, Blaze Thomas, and the Arkansas Weather Network, Facebook and Twitter and TikTok. The mobile app will be available on Saturday, December 13th to the public. So you'll be able to search it on the iOS and Android, Google Play stores. And all you need to consume all the information that we provide, we'll have a Roku channel as well, 24/7 streaming channel. All you need to consume all of this is a smartphone and an internet connection. We're trying to make it as simple and easy for people to access, critical information as possible. So,
That'll do it, man. I appreciate you for coming on.
yeah,
For Zachary Hall, Adam Hall, I'm Porter Hayes. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Looking forward to downloading that app as soon as it's available. We're going to come to you Sunday night, 6:05, Hog HQ live at 8:05, and we will catch you on Sunday.